Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel.
And then what you can do is say, while we're running, you got this, if you tweak the puppet, normally you click on run, and you have a run pose. So if you like made a run pose, it uses this to, oh, we need to use L2, I think. It uses this to animate the animation. So you can say this is like the base pose that I want you to use, and then it will animate the rest of it. You can script in here and rotate that so there's more up or something. And then we can, on the walk, which actually doesn't have a keyframe. The way this works is when you click on here, it looks for keyframes that are connected to running strength. And for walk, there's one for walking strength. Walking strength. And now that will edit that. And that's the keyframe it will use for this pose. So this will just, I just wanted to make this ponytail go down. So what you could do, in fact, is wire the running strength into this keyframe so that the hair is only springy and flowy while you're running, and then while you're walking it can just flop about normally. So as we run, it's flying out behind us, and then as we go back to walking, it's doing less of that and it will just flop about. We talked earlier about these poses here. So if we say ignore that and just place that like it's in a charge position, charge. So now what happens is, while I'm running, the sword is perfectly out in front of it and ignoring the rest of the body entirely. It's exactly the right position that we set it to within this object, but the rest of the character is kind of bobbing and weaving about and so on. Instead of recording it into there, we want it on a separate keyframe. So, and that kind of basically tells Dreams to not procedurally animate this hand because we've set it with R2 instead of rotating it with L2. So you rotate it and now it'll use the procedural animation to run with it with this pose. But if you instead used R2 to place it, then it will lock it to that position and procedural animation won't be able to override it. So let's put that out in front like that. And if we, I'm going to get a switch and just power it like that. And the same thing will happen because it's just powered. And it's in a funny position. Let's just wire that into there so we can see the rest of the pose. There we go. So now the sword is still right in front of it instead of moving with the movement of the character. So if we, instead of a switch, that just turns it on and off. If we power it, but instead of full with 100% power, we'll power it like halfway, then it'll bob around with the movement of the normal procedural animation and kind of half be set to that set position. So you can see it kind of moving around a bit. And if we made it even less, then it's mostly doing the running pose thing. So you can have, so this is pretty good for things like swords or maybe a lantern. So it's kind of bobbing around in front of the character and you get like lights going on around the scene. But it's not just fully flailing up and down as it runs. And it's not just stuck in place right in front of the character. It kind of is a halfway house where it still has some secondary motion to it, based on the procedural animation.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/tapgiles to learn something new every day.